Morning, everyone. So it's Hump Day, made only as famous by a progressive and a camel. Hump Day, Groundhog Day, I guess it's all the same these days. But I wanted to take a moment and do a two-part series. So today I'm going to start with how to be a rock star of a boss to your people during this time frame. And I have to say that it's been a journey for me, not a destination. And then tomorrow I'm going to lean in with how to reciprocate that and how to be a rock star employee during these situations. So from the boss perspective, I think that the key is that you have to cut a very fine line in between, holding people accountable and being understanding. And I say this because I think sometimes everything can go into excess. As a leader, and I'm saying this now to the team members, there's a lot on leaders' plates today between making sure people are healthy, making sure the business is stable, taking care of their own families, and watching after kind of a new normal. And so I say this to understand that we're going to have to kind of have a seesaw balance. It can't be all, hey, we're adjusting, and it can't be all, hey, we have to perform. I think that both those strategies are a bit unfair during these time frames. But as a leader, I want to give you 5 tips that we can use to kind of be, really there for people. The first one is encouraging communication. So there's a lot going on out there. And if a team member is struggling, maybe it's with technology, maybe it's with just being at home with the kids all day, or maybe they've got a family member impacted. Encourage communication and encourage a very clear plan. So, for example, if someone is struggling with being a stay-at-home mom slash homeschool teacher slash insurance agent, or vice versa, someone struggling being a dad and taking care of elderly parents at the same time and making sure that they're okay, it's okay to talk to them and say, hey, why don't you take a couple hours off and go deal with it? And come back and be outstanding. But I do think on those things, there needs to be a plan and a time and a boundary of, if you need this, go for it. So that's tip number 1, communication. Tip number 2 is try to insert some fun into the day. If it's a 15-minute coffee break together, if it's sending your team different funny memes, if it's sending them lunch one day, just try real hard to break up the monotony. We do it all the time when we see each other in the office. There's no sense in not doing it now. So try real hard to have a bit of fun along the way. I think now it's so awesome to set some contests and some goals that are going to take people just that little extra step, but something easy and obtainable. So we did a webinar with Rocket Referrals on gathering data. So maybe it's email addresses, getting permission to text. Maybe it's Facebook likes, maybe it's having everybody shoot a video on something or write a blog, but do something that kind of breaks up the day so it's not so Groundhog Day, but something not so crazy where it feels overwhelming to people. But really think about what's one thing on the to-do list we've always wanted to clean up, and set a goal, and maybe close a little early on Friday afternoon if everyone hits the goal, or send everybody lunch. So try to do something that's going to keep the ball moving and performing on the right direction. So that's 3, to set up some kind of incentive plan and change it up every week. It's just something new for somebody to put some energy into. Step 4 is to be transparent and honest about the state of affairs. We've had some conversations here, and the truth is we don't know what's going to happen. We like to think that we're doing the right things between putting our online school together and doing these daily emails to continue our brand image, but it may be quite some time before we get inside people's offices, and we might do a lot more virtual training, in the interim. And that's going to change and impact our business and also some people's roles here. And that leads to confusion, frustration, and also just in general concern, right? So we're trying to say, hey, the long game here is a stronger, stable, more stable, company that can weather big, big storms like this. And this is pretty much a Titanic storm. But that means that we're all going to have to adapt and change. And I think that there's a lot of people out there right now exhausted by adapting so much. But we've been adapting for about 4 weeks now. I think it's pretty clear that this is going to be a little bit more of a journey than a destination. Things are going to come back in waves. And, there will be a new normal after this. I don't think any of us are thinking we're going to go right back the way it was. But I do think that you have to be transparent and you have to communicate in a lot of ways, over communicate. One stat I love to tell people is that you have to repeat yourself 22 times for an adult to remember it today. So don't hesitate to say the same message over and over again of what is clear, what we need to focus on, and what you really need from team members. And the final thing I will say is to really take a look at the business and say, hey, now's a great time for us to think, what are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? And it's not necessarily a bad thing to do as a team. I love it when agencies come together and work on some of this stuff via Zoom meetings or socially distant meetings today. But stop, like, what are we great at right now? Just right now in this pandemic, the whole world's upside down. What are we great at? What are our weaknesses? Where are we? Maybe it's technology. Maybe it's we don't have a lot of contact information for clients. Maybe it's retention starting to slip. Maybe it's our team isn't that well trained, and when they're all working from home, there's a lot of confusion of what people should be doing. But write that stuff down so that you can make a plan to work on it and then clearly communicate the plan to take steps towards. So those are our 5 things we think leaders should be focused on. And also, too, managing your own wellness. I say this as a leader myself. It's something that I've had ups and downs with on this journey. I can say right now I'm doing great. I shouldn't say great. I'm healthy based on everything going on. But, taking the time to work out, taking the time to eat healthy, taking the time to take a break from the coronavirus. A huge escape for me has been reading books because it doesn't say anything about the virus in there. But if I turn on a podcast, if I turn on TV, it's all over. Even some of my favorite TV shows edited into the coronavirus. I'm like, how? Why? I just wanted an escape. But watching yourself and also watching your own emotions. As things go on, you can get very frustrated. You can be quick to act. Or you can, on the flip side, let frustrations build up and not address them when they really should be addressed, because that's that equal seesaw, right, of transparency, but also accountability. And I just want to stop on that for a second. There are temporary things we can do to make people's lives easier. And then there's the long game here of, can someone commit and, be part of that? And those are things that you're going to have to start looking at and deciding and determining what's in the best interest of the people we care about, which is our team. And sometimes the best interest is a hard decision or a temporary decision that is not one that we were anticipating, but maybe is the right decision right now. So tomorrow we're going to go all about how to be an epic team member during this and what your boss needs to hear from you as well. So hopefully you can join us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again.